Hello and welcome back to Anywhere But Here, episode 308. My name is Tom.
And my name's Zen.
And you can find us on abhpod.com, where, if you scroll down a little way, you can find an Amazon banner. It's obviously too late at this point to order things for Christmas, or maybe you can on next day delivery and all that. But you can order your stuff through Amazon at any time of the year, and we get 5% of your total basket spend. Doesn't cost you any more. Doesn't change your experience of the website anymore. But we just take 5% of Jeff Bezos's profits, and that keeps us on the air, hopefully.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, you can use it for January sales, I suppose.
Good point.
Which works. Yeah. If you don't want to put any money in Jeff Bezos's pocket, even if you are skimming 5% off, but still, you don't want to put any profit in there. The other 95% of his profit. I mean, you can subscribe to our Patreon. For just a single unit of your local currency, whether that's $1, €1, pesos. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works with Patreon, but we've seen dollars, we've seen pounds. You get extra content. You get spoiler casts as and when we record them. We have recorded one for this episode, Spider-Man No Way Home. Tom and I both went and saw it. We recorded spoiler cast. You can listen to that now if you're a subscriber of Patreon. If not, you have to wait until we put it out on the main feed. It's usually when it's released either on Disney Plus or Blu-ray, whatever streaming service it's on. You get after the podcasts, which are exclusive to our patrons. If we ever do YouTube content, you can get YouTube content a little bit earlier. I mean, these main episodes do go out on YouTube as videos for our patrons, but that's exclusive to patrons at the minute. You also get the audio version of this episode without this awkward laboured intro, and you get that on a special RSS feed, which is only for our patrons. So you don't even have to remember to go to Patreon to find it, and you get special artwork with the golden thumb to say that you're a supporter. Indeed,
everyone wants the golden thumb.
Yeah.
You can find us on social media. You can find us on Twitter at ABH Pod, Facebook.com/ABH Pod, and on YouTube.com/ABH Podcast.
Yeah, you can email us abhpod@gmail.com as well if you've got anything you want to write to us.
On this episode, we talk a lot about music, from the physical stuff that we still feel like we should be collecting but aren't, right through to rock stars being assholes again. Hi, Eric.
Enjoy.
Oh, she's louder than usual.
Really? Because I heard that through your heads. I heard that echo through you.
Yeah,
I haven't touched anything.
Right. No, it's because you're a normal level in my ears. So I don't know. I think they like to keep us on our toes. We start every episode talking about the Zoom woman.
Yeah, mate. She's finding her way to weasel into every episode now, isn't she? Oh well. It'll wear off eventually, the novelty of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi.
Hi.
How you doing? 2 in a row.
Yeah, I know. Mad, right? I was supposed to have put out a spoiler cast last week, and I completely forgot about it. So I'll have to put out that next week instead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we're going to put out one this week. There's another film out. I don't know if anyone's heard.
On the Patreon, yeah, but I mean in the main.
Oh, you were going to put it in main feed. Yes, you were. Good point.
Yeah, because Shang-Chi is now out on Blu-ray, because I have it on Blu-ray now as well. So,
nice. So you're still doing the whole collecting the Blu-ray things?
I'm a collector of things. So, yes. I realise that it's completely redundant because I paid for Disney Plus, and I might as well. But you don't get all the special features.
This is true. Disney Plus, That's true. Yeah, I had a weird moment. Yesterday I went into town with Chloe, and we went down to Friendly Walk, which is like our outdoor shopping centre in Maidstone. I say outdoor shopping centre. It's a street with shops down the side, but it's owned by like a private company. It's
technically a mall, but it's not really a mall because it's just a street with a House of Fraser at the end.
Yes, it's an open air mall. But yeah, so we walked down to the end, and I thought, I'm going to go into HMV, like thinking not much would have changed. I'm surprised it's still a thing, if I'm totally honest.
Well, yeah, because HMV generally they went into like almost like liquidation a few years ago, didn't they? And they only left open a few flagship stores, and I just assumed the Maidstone one would be gone.
No,
but it's not.
it's still there, and it's strange because I mean, essentially they deal with they sell physical music and physical movies, and you'd think how are they still a thing? In all honesty, one of the weirdest things, I don't know if you remember the vinyl section of HMV, which was right at the back.
Yeah.
And it was just like a little corner and they had a few bins of vinyls. Their vinyl section is huge now.
I can imagine.
And it's at the front of the store.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's the change in the industry, isn't it? Like vinyl is a massive thing now. And that's where you're getting all your kind of collectors. Like I would doubt that CD sales are very high at all anymore.
No.
Like I haven't bought a CD in years now.
No.
Because I listen to all my stuff through Apple Music or Spotify.
Generally don't own music anymore, do we?
No, which is a shame because it was one of the things that I always said that I would never do. But the fact of the matter is, like, I'm sat here and to my right are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6-foot CD racks that are on their side because we're scared to have them standing upright. And they look better on their side anyway, because then you can take all the shelves out and you've got more room. And they're all completely full of CDs. Like, if we bought any more, I'd have to buy another thing to store them in. Yeah. But it also means that I'm not as up to date with things as I used to be. Like, I don't know when things came out by certain artists. Or, like, I'm not noticing when things are being released. But yeah.
I mean, I tend to find out about new releases just by opening Spotify and the banners at the top. And it's not always artists that I'm interested in. It's the ones that are paid for that space.
Exactly.
But I find that I'm listening to a wider range of artists and styles now because I like to just do the Spotify playlists where they just randomly put in stuff, or I'll listen to one song and it will carry on similar songs. But it's a strange thing. But HMV is really weird. And I don't know, you've probably not paid attention to vinyls. I used to buy them occasionally because I do have a record player. But I used to like to collect the picture discs and the color vinyls and things.
Yeah, I've got a few picture discs and stuff like that from when I was collecting vinyl.
Yeah, but I remember going to HMV and being like, oh my God, it's like 16 quid. It's 17 quid for a vinyl. They're like 20 plus now. They're like 25 quid is the average price of a vinyl.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when vinyl.
I was going to say, I understand. Obviously, it's more expensive to press vinyl these days. But it's not selling as much, so the price was higher. But now, like, based on the size of that section in HMV, it's doing a lot better.
Yeah, you would think that the price would start to come down because generally, if anything is available wholesale and is more readily available, then the price should come down. But yeah, I think it's just still a way of monetizing on the physical media side of things, I think, which kind of shows you how all pervasive MP3 and streaming and stuff is, really.
But the thing is as well now, like, you're looking in there, everyone is pressing vinyl. Everyone. Every new album is getting, like, Adele's new album's got vinyl, Taylor Swift is vinyl, Arctic Monkeys is vinyl, like everything that comes out now. There's a huge Coldplay section, like, vinyl. So because it used to be, back in the day, it used to be like dance stuff, like all the stuff that actual DJs would play when they were still spinning plates, as opposed to CDJs and MP3s. No, I know. So it always used to be, it was only really your kind of electronic artists doing that, wasn't it? And now it is, like you say, absolutely everyone. I don't know. We've been toying with the idea of getting a vinyl player for a while, but it's just like it's space. I know that they're not like massive stack systems anymore. No, you'd need to. I mean, you can get the all-in-one decks, but they're not going to sound as good. But so you'd still need the record deck. You'd still need the amp, and you'd still need the speakers. Like, minimal. Like, that's what you would need. So, I have that, so like already, so in a box, not being used.
I think I've still got my old stack system upstairs in the loft. I don't think I got rid of it, but I know that the cones on the speakers are all cracked,
Yeah,
which is a bit of a shame. But
that's probably the cheapest part to replace, though.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
Depending what sort of speakers you want, but
yeah. I mean, these were kind of high end. I got it off like a family friend who was a massive audiophile. So like these things are top of the range. But yeah, it would be nice to get them repaired and back up again. But again, like I don't really listen to that much music anymore. Like the only music that I listen to is our playlist of stuff that we're covering.
Yeah. It's just time, isn't it?
And the rest of it is podcasts. Like I really don't listen to a lot of music, which is a shame.
Weird. Coming from
I know.
That's weird. This is the man with the music podcast documentary.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, this is it. Like I listened to one band for like an entire month
while you're writing. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it's one of those strange things about finding time. But I mean, it's as the world's getting back to normal, less time to do stuff.
I
mean, your life is pretty full at the minute. Your timetable.
Yeah, it is. It's full, but it's not. It's annoying. Like I picked up 2 more article commissions 2 weeks ago with the deadline of Christmas Eve. But what I'm finding is that like I'm sending out emails and I'm calling places and not everyone's on holiday. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna write these. Like I've got one almost done, but the other one I can't get hold of anyone to kind of to talk about it. So a lot of my time should be being spent on writing, but it's being spent on sending emails and phoning people and being like, please, anyone talk to me.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out actually, but yeah. And then there's all the extra podcasts that I've picked up as well. Put off a couple of them because of the writing, but because the writing isn't being done, perhaps I should. It's just nothing's working out right now. And then there's getting Christmas together and everything, and also trying to edit my own podcast as well.
Yeah. It's a weird time of year. I'm finding
it is
at work, like sending for support things, sending out emails. Oh, can we set up a call? Well, I'm on annual leave from tomorrow, so okay, yeah. How do you want to get your system fixed?
This is it, isn't it? Yeah. One of the interviews that I carried out last week was with some guy, and the only free time he had was from driving from somewhere up north to somewhere in the Midlands.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really don't want to interview you while you're driving.
Yeah.
And he was like, I talk to my teams while I drive all the time. It's going to be fine. And I was like, right, I'm going to drill this down to like 3 questions. That's going to take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But that was the only free time he had between then and New Year's.
Yeah.
It just seems like the world is like this time of year at this point in history is it's a busy place at the moment.
Yeah, plus not knowing what's going to happen after Christmas. I mean, there's the possible 2-week lockdown after Christmas. Brilliant.
Yeah, but I cancelled all my London appointments because I had 2 or 3 things that I was going to go up to London to do, and they were all they weren't massively work based, but they were. They were generally just kind of knees ups. And
I remember you did say on the last podcast, didn't you, that you had lots of invites and stuff. So you were going to try and figure out which ones to attend, which I imagine by the sounds of it you did, and then you went, actually, nah. Yeah,
I just I'm not gonna take a risk like that this close to Christmas.
No.
And just generally, I've got my booster booked for Tuesday as well. So like, not that makes you any safer, but
no.
There's like a mental thing there, isn't there?
Well,
but equally, like if I'd gone up to London this week, like I was supposed to, there's been a massive spike, especially in London. So like, it just would have been
with all the Christmas parties going on. Probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the booster, yes, it doesn't stop you it's the same thing. It doesn't stop you getting it. But obviously, we had a double dose a few months ago now, so the efficacy of it will have dropped off. Boosters, just to bring it back up, it does reduce the transmission rate of. I don't know about the Omicron variant. I'm not sure. I imagine it would, but it's one of those things, and definitely, when you say it is a men's thing, ours is booked for 10 days time. Actually, 29th. My booster's booked for. But yeah, my sister works in hospitality. She works in a hotel. And like she said, like while she's working or doing anything, her mask is staying on the whole time. Like, they don't have to because she's in housekeeping, so she doesn't necessarily have to. But she's like, I'm wearing it because, like, I'm not. It's not ruining Christmas. Like, fuck that shit.
No, exactly. I think people really missed it last year. Like, it was nice to have a quieter Christmas, but certainly on the whole, I think it's the one time of the year that there's nothing else on to interrupt that time with your family, isn't there? You know, like, I
like it because it's you get to see your family, but I don't have to go anywhere. Like, I'm that person. I don't like going places.
Exactly. But also, there's always the pressure of like, I've got work in the morning, so I can't stop here. You know, like if you get into something, you know, if you get into like a conversation or whatever it is, there's no real set time limit for Christmas, is there?
No, there's no hard outs.
It can be a bit looser. Yeah.
I mean, I've booked the Christmas week off from, I think, 23rd to, I don't know, until is it the second or third work starts again? I can't remember. But yeah, that's when I'm going back. Like,
it'll probably be, isn't the third the Monday, I think.
Yeah, because New Year Day will be Saturday, won't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm off. Am I working? I am working 23rd. I keep meaning to book it off. Probably a bit late now. The 24th to the 3rd. Yeah, I'm off. It's great.
Fair play.
I didn't do it last year. It's such a weird time. Like, I worked like IT support between Christmas and New Year last year. It's weird. Like, what are you doing? Not really a lot to do.
But at least, you know, I guess if there's not a lot on, there's not a lot to do, though, isn't it? Like, you're getting paid to do not very much.
But but it's weird. So you're still tracked on like your performance and stats and stuff like that. So if there's not a lot to do, so you're not doing much, which means you're not performing, which makes it seem like you're not doing your job. And it's like, but it's sort of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that point where you're trying to find something wrong, so you've got something to do. Just hop onto a server and break it just so you can fix it. It's such a weird time. Yeah.
Oh, it would appear that Jo has left. I've just looked at the tracking on her phone and she's right up the road. So cool. I didn't hear her go. So now would be a good time to set up the spoiler cast, I guess.
So we're pausing, going to start the spoiler cast. Brilliant. Love it.
So we've done that, and we're back, and we were talking about music just before the break there.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to edit it.
I'll leave it in now. It's the only natural way to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be us trying to figure out what we were talking about.
Yeah, this is the first time we've split up the main episode to do a spoiler cast in between. Yeah. Odd. But we were sent something by our friend Greg from the All Seeing Guys podcast.
Yeah,
we were having a chat about it last night. We were talking about music. This involves a musical pop star-y type person.
Yeah.
Apparently, Demi Lovato has become like a most haunted type person now. Does she not have a pop career anymore? I don't really.
They do. Yes, they're non-binary. It's really difficult. I have a colleague at work who's non-binary, and I keep fucking up. It's difficult, especially if you've always referred to them
as
as a certain gender, it's quite difficult to get out of that habit. But yeah, Demi Lovato.
I didn't actually know about Demi Lovato, and I did read the thing, but I forgot.
But I think it's one of those things that's so natural you don't really notice it when you're reading it.
And I don't know them,
no.
So I'm not. And I'm about to rip the piss out of them, so I don't really care about their feelings.
So Demi Lovato does have a very successful pop career still. They I like their music, like some of their songs. I think they've got an incredible voice. However, and good for them since they've survived their overdose. They've sort of had this renewed sense of being that they're a very, very different person these days.
Right.
Which is good for them. If they're happier, that's great.
See, I haven't done the background reading.
However, some of the stuff people get into when they're recovered, when they found this new lease of life, people do get into stuff that's unconventional, shall we say. Now, this ghost hunting thing, there's a lot of the Osbournes did one, like they did like a special ghost hunt thing.
I heard about this.
Jack Osbourne is massively into paranormal things, and they did this ghost hunt, and it's a lot of there's like an area in LA where lots of buildings have been moved, like lots of old historical buildings have been moved into this one place that brings with it a lot of energy and spirits and stuff. And Kelly Osbourne, who's a skeptic, went and sort of got involved in it, and it's really interesting. Actually, it's really good how they've done it. The Demi Lovato one, I think a lot of celebrities get in on this most haunted sort of ghost hunting thing now. It's a big thing.
Well, it's something that gets eyes on them, isn't it? I guess
this particular article that Greg sent us is a bit bizarre.
Demi Lovato helps ghost overcome sexism trauma by singing.
As if ghost hunting wasn't weird enough.
Yeah. So, the 29-year-old recently visited Vulture City in Arizona for their docuseries Unidentified with Demi Lovato, where they encountered a spirit who has past trauma with men. Quite how they, go about figuring this out is, incredibly spurious. So, she works with a friend of hers called Matthew Scott and a paranormal investigator called Chris Smith.
Yeah.
And they set up an EMF detector, which is a device which makes a noise when some form of communication is made with the spirits. Addressing the ghost, apparently known as Carmen, although we're not quite sure how that was figured out. Demi Lovato asked, have you seen anything like ETs here or UFOs, star people? I mean, ghosts aren't known for being aliens also, are they?
No.
Or is she asking just like, have you ever seen an alien?
Possibly. I don't know why. Like, I'm sure...
There's probably more context if we were to watch the TV show.
This is the thing, not like we would, but this is the thing with like articles written like this. I don't even know what this website is. IGV Official.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
It's gone viral. IGV.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, cool.
So I'm going to think some of these articles might be sensationalized somewhat.
Yeah, maybe.
And spun in such a way to make someone look completely ridiculous. I mean, ghost hunt shows are things that we would take to rip the piss out of a lot anyway, like, especially like Derek Acora, the way he used to behave. But yeah, there's probably going to be context. We'll probably find out how they know the name's Carmen. There's probably... Bearing in mind this is a TV series called Unidentified with Demi Lovato, it's probably about the paranormal and unknowable things. So it's probably an area that's known for alien abductions and alien activity.
Right, okay.
I would guess. This is what I'm interpreting. They're doing a lot of interpretation in this article. So I would guess it's somewhere, Arizona. Arizona.
That's true. Yeah, I suppose so.
Known for UFO activity. So they're also doing a ghost hunt. So have this ghost ever experienced alien activity. Kind of makes sense. And
maybe, yeah.
We're having to pull out a lot.
The EMF detector began to make a sound, but came to a stop when the pop star asked Carmen whether they also were a star person.
Are you an alien ghost?
So that means that like she's asked that they have asked the ghost about whether or not they have encountered ETs or UFOs, and the ghost is like, response. Yeah, sure. And then when Demi asks whether the ghost is a star person, it goes no. So yeah. So then following this silence, they got Scott and Smith to leave the room so Lovato could interrogate the ghost further.
Because sometimes it helps to be on your own.
So Lovato, exactly. Why have any witnesses to what you're about to do? Yeah. So Lovato then asked the ghost, "Did you not want to say anything else because the boys are in here?" And again, the device began to make a sound. And Lovato said, "Oh, I think I get that a lot. She has trauma. That's why she doesn't like men."
That's a leap.
Yeah. I mean, not that all of this isn't a leap.
It's a ghost investigation. Yeah. No,
but certainly that in itself,
it's like the guys were in here. Yeah. Oh, it must be trauma then.
Because if I was to ask a ghost, "Oh, have you seen UFOs?" and things bleeping off, and then you're like, "Are you an alien?" and it stops bleeping, I wouldn't then immediately think, "Oh, the boys need to leave the room."
But that does happen in ghost. Again.
Does it happen?
In ghost shows? What I'm going to make the leap here is that the period between the thing stopping beeping and the guys leaving the room was, I would guess, probably a lot longer. And they possibly continued to interrogate and ask questions, and there was no response. So I was like, hey, let's try it with someone in here on their own. You're the celebrity. You stay on your own. It's more interesting that way.
You're the star.
So that I'm going to guess it was a longer period of time with nothing happening. Okay, let's try and get everyone to leave. Just leave Lovato here on their own, and we'll try again. And that's when it started to happen. Devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate.
And so
I'm a skeptic.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I know. But then I have to attack you like
you're. Why the boys were here? Yeah, no, I didn't want to talk while the boys were here. Oh, okay, that's trauma then. Like,
yeah. They added, "I have trauma too, so I feel like you and I get it." Empathizing with the spirit.
Exactly, yeah.
From outside the room, Scott and Smith then suggest that Lovato tried to communicate with the spirit through singing. So they're still listening in.
Yeah.
And directing the thing.
Yeah, of course.
And ghosts aren't stupid. They're omnipresent. They can see this thing. So why it would be playing along, I don't know. So they suggest that she tries to communicate with the spirit through singing. And so she launches into the song Skyscraper because that's the song that she feels like singing. They feel like singing when they are feeling something. They want to feel something emotional. When Lovato finished the rendition, the detector went off again and apparently sounded like it was giving a standing ovation. How does a beeping machine sound like a standing ovation?
Standing ovation, yeah.
And then Demi Lovato says, "That's the coolest standing ovation I've ever had." And that's the point at which I'm like, you have got a fucking ego on you like a massive cunt. Like, what do you mean standing ovation? It's a bleeping box.
It's, again, I'm going to take it with the tabloid way that this article's been written. And I'm going to... Having watched stuff with Demi Lovato in, I'm assuming that that's the coolest standing ovation I've ever had was said. It's a bit of tongue-in-cheek. I'm going to say tongue-in-cheek.
Why standing ovation and not applause, though?
Well,
Because I would have said,
yeah,
oh, that's the coolest round of applause I've ever had, or that's the coolest, like,
yeah, for sure, standing ovation,
standing ovation, like that's as much of a leap as, oh, did you not want to talk while the boys were around? You've got sexual trauma, and I'm going to heal you with my song.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, yeah. Standing ovation probably should not. Yeah, applause would have been better.
It's just like everything else about the thing. I'm like, yeah, whatever. They're doing a ghost show and whatever, blah blah blah. But it's the leap to standing ovation
rather than applause.
And equally, if one person stands up and claps, is that an ovation?
No,
standing ovation. I guess it is, because it's, that's your audience.
Entirety.
But I don't know. Like standing ovation to me is like a whole room of people getting up and applauding and cheering.
Yeah. It's all ridiculous. Like, it is completely ridiculous. I know I was playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to sort of spin it in a way to sort of.
Of course, yeah, that makes the conversation more interesting, and it means that we can have the conversation. But
bizarre though.
It's just like I'm not bothered. People can go and look for ghosts. They can go and look for ghosts. I am on record as saying that I've had a weird supernatural thing happen to me in the past, and that a couple, and so I'm not entirely. I understand people's desire to want to do this kind of thing, and I get that it's an interesting thing to do, but it's like literally the whole way through I'm like, whatever. It's a bit of a leap to go to the sexual trauma thing, bearing in mind that this thing isn't communicating in anything else but like a crackly beepy thing. Like, it's not saying words, it's not doing there's no one there doing automatic drawing and like, creating a narrative. Like, it's a weird leap to go to sexual trauma, and then it's a stranger leap to be like, I'm going to sing you a nice song to help you feel better.
Yeah.
But it's the standing ovation thing that I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why
would you assume it's a standing ovation?
Yeah. Like, you're so into yourself.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
That's where you go.
Yeah, that's my problem. So yeah, from one musical asshole to another.
Wicked.
We talked about him last time.
Oh, so sad.
Eric's at it again. And this, again, we're going to have a conversation where devil's advocate will be played. Eric Clapton wins legal case against woman selling bootleg CD on eBay for £8.45. So this woman in Germany, she puts a listing of Eric Clapton and Eric Clapton bootleg CD on eBay. And Eric Clapton hears about this and instantly slaps her with a lawsuit on the ground of copyright infringement. Bearing in mind that not only is she selling this thing, it's the bootleg thing. It's an illegal recording of a couple of performances from the 1980s.
Yeah, that presumably aren't available anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly, because it was recorded at a couple of concerts and stuck on a disc. The defendant claimed that she was unaware that selling the album, which was a bootleg recording made at a concert in the 80s, was considered illegal. She claimed that her late husband had said that he bought the item at a department store. So her husband, who is now dead,
useful,
apparently bought this thing at a shop. So she wasn't aware that it was a bootleg, and so therefore didn't realise that selling it on was illegal.
So was it a single thing?
Yes, it's one album.
So I thought she was making copies of this bootleg CD.
Well, she might be, but
okay.
We don't know, do we? It's not in the story. She was selling one CD.
Right. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
One only. It wasn't like a job lot. No, resale isn't. But because it's a bootleg.
Right.
the original person who sold it to her late husband shouldn't have been selling it in the first place, but she figured maybe that it was some random live album, perhaps. I think that's what she's saying. Like, her husband bought it from a shop, so therefore it must be all right and above board. She appealed the decision after Clapton brought the case against her, but it was rejected on Wednesday, the 15th of December. Local news reports that the judge said it didn't matter that she didn't know the recording was made illegally, or that she didn't buy the album herself. An injunction was issued on Clapton's behalf, requiring the defendant to pay both parties legal fees amounting to around £2,880. If she continues her attempt to sell the CD, she faces a fine of €250,000, £212,000, or 6 months in prison.
Wow.
Yeah. So the fact that she was selling this CD that she didn't know was a bootleg. And there's something else in here that says that she took it down, the listing down, after 1 day after being made aware that this was a bootleg. Right. So she went to sell it, didn't sell it,
took it down.
Yeah.
But still has.
And he went after her anyway.
What a prick. That's not on.
No, I don't think so. Like, if she'd sold it, then maybe he would have more of a leg to stand on. And then
at the same time, isn't intent like does that not come into it?
You would kind of think so. Like, if she, like you say, if she was knowingly
reproducing
the material, whether it's a bootleg or not, like, that's illegal. We all know that's illegal. And then selling it for profit. Yeah,
because I initially where my brain was, because I thought it was like reproducing and selling. Now, bootlegs, as far as I was aware, it's supposed to be like a trade thing.
Yeah,
not money, because you're not supposed to benefit from it monetarily. Like, it's supposed to be a trading thing. If you've got a bootleg and I've got a bootleg, let's swap.
Yeah,
like that's what I thought it was. That still questionable, but you're not profiting from it at all. So I think that's a grey area. This one, where it's just a single CD that she assumed was a rare live album that she was selling for like £8.
Yeah.
Like, that.
Yeah, it's not like, what profit would he have got from the sale of an album for £8? Yeah. It would have been, at most £4.
Yeah.
If he had a 50-50 deal with his record label, which...
Yeah, she thought she was just reselling an album that her husband had brought. So I think intent should come into it there. But if she then didn't actually sell it once she found out it was illegal, and then he still went after her, and now she's got to pay like $2,000-3,000 in legal fees, that's ridiculous.
It's harsh, isn't it?
I mean, as much as Eric Clapton's a prick for going after her on this, that the judge is a prick for...
Apparently the German legal system is super hot on copyright infringement. So like, it's a big deal in Germany, in the German court system, but still, like you say, she didn't then go and sell it on. She took the listing down, and so surely that's, I don't know, man. Like, in a world where the internet exists and streaming is free, and people, there's stuff like YouTube to MP3 converters out there, and there's that you can't. It's nuts, isn't it? That like this one woman who was just trying to get rid of a couple of an album, because I'm sure that maybe she's down. Maybe her partner died recently, and she's just trying to get rid of a load of stuff that reminds her of him. Do you know what I mean?
To pay like funeral costs and things like that.
Yeah. Who knows the additional story behind this? But it just it's not as bad as him being anti-vax and being a complete arsehole and right wing and weird now. But I just think it's half him and half the legal system, and it's but I just think it's a bad look, really. Like the fact that she didn't sell the record in the end, but ended up having to pay $3,000 in legal fees, I think is massively disproportionate.
Sure. There was, I'm trying to remember.
Because she didn't commit the crime.
No,
that's the thing.
That's it. Is that she didn't, like we say, that's where it comes into what I was saying, intent. She didn't sell it, so she didn't commit the crime. She didn't make the recording. She didn't buy it initially.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, intent comes in. She wasn't knowingly selling an illegal album.
So you're right. I think like the main culprit here is the German legal system,
for sure.
But it doesn't help that Eric is kind of revealing himself to be a little bit of a problematic character.
I was trying to find this news story from like quite a few years ago now. It's quite difficult to find, it turns out. But there was a mum that got arrested and fined because her child downloaded Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I don't know.
Oh my God, right. Yeah, I think I do. Did we talk about it on here?
Possibly. That's probably where I know it from. Yeah. It just reminds me of that whole thing. It's like the mum got, and this is it. It's like all of these big sort of like rings you can go after of like trading illegal things online and selling illegal things online. You're going after that mum. This kid downloaded it. You're going after this woman whose husband brought this bootleg. It's and is it supposed to be making an example and like, oh, be careful?
I guess it is. Yeah, I mean, most of these things are trying to kind of most court rulings are made with either a precedent from the past in mind, and that like, well, these people were arrested for this thing before and you've done this thing, so you're going to be punished accordingly. Or the initial one is like, well, we've got to make an example of you just in case lots of other people try and do this, and I guess this is what this is. But the fact that, like I say, she didn't actually commit the crime of illegally selling this thing, she listed it for a day and then was made aware that it was and didn't sell it, didn't make any money off it. I just think it's it's, I mean,
so I'm just trying to think, like, what the ruling was that obviously she had to pay the legal fees of both parties, but she didn't. What was the actual verdict? That's the thing. Was she actually found guilty of anything?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't say
that it was kind of like right, okay, this isn't okay. She took it down like she should have done, but you now have to pay legal fees for both sides. Like that's see, we've done this thing again where like I've bought a thing and then we've talked about it and then we're like, oh, actually, maybe maybe it's just a process. It's still the fact that she's being told to pay both sides.
Well, it says that Eric Clapton has won a legal battle against a woman selling a bootleg CD of his on eBay. So brought the case against on copyright infringement. Fuck off. So I mean, it sounds like a pretty kind of shut and cut thing.
So it's like,
but then she appealed the decision, and maybe that's where
it seems that she was found guilty of copyright infringement and ordered to pay the legal fees. Maybe, I mean, that's from what the article says, that's what it sounds like, but it's just kind of
it just seems overly harsh to me.
Shitty,
and this is the thing, it's like we were saying before with like vinyl being so expensive, it's the music industry still trying to make money out of physical.
They're pricing people out.
And it's the music industry trying to get paid for what it feels it's owed, and I don't know, just
because I mean, if we don't know one thing about Eric Clapton, he's a starving artist. He needs the money.
This is it, isn't it? It's not like
out of his pocket, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of sticks in your craw a little bit. It's like it's a bad look.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, I know that, and this is my argument. It's like we live in an age where that really hurt. we live in an age where you can go online and you can download whatever the fuck you want from anywhere. And it just feels a bit kind of reductive because, again, he's not exactly on the street destitute, is he?
No.
I don't know.
Absolutely. Oh,
it's a shame.
Yeah.
But so last one before Christmas now.
Yeah. Bit of an odd.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wrap it up in the next like quarter of an hour or so because I've got places to be.
But we can,
it's what was I going to say? I can't remember. Oh fuck! I've derailed myself. Yeah.
It's like you've just walked into a room for something, picked up something else, forgot what you originally walked in there for.
That's a psychological thing. It's like your brain acts on doorways.
Oh, really?
So when you walk into a room, your brain's like, bang, I'm into this room now.
Yeah.
And that's why you forget what you walked into a room for. Because your brain automatically is like, right, we're in the kitchen. And this is what happens in the kitchen. Thing, but then it almost like your mind shuts the door on the last room. And that's why, like, you had the idea in that room and you came into this room and you're like, why am I in here? Because the thought is connected with the room behind you.
That makes, so that's possibly in the same sense. Hey, this is where the conversation's going. It's possibly like, when they do sleep hygiene things, that's why they say, like, don't have a TV in your bedroom, don't have a phone in your bed, like don't use your phone in your bedroom, because if you're sort of training your brain that once you get into bed, this is where I sleep. So people that have trouble getting to sleep should literally, minus one or two other things, should just use the bedroom for sleep. Use the bedroom. Like when you get into bed, you sleep, because that trains your brain. So like when you go into the kitchen, your brain's like, this is where I make food. So rather than I'm going to go into the kitchen to look to see if that's in there, you go into the kitchen, you're like, I'm going to make food now. Like your subconscious is like, this is what I'm doing now. Yeah, perhaps it's linked to that sort of thing. Yeah, I didn't
it's something that I've been struggling with the last week or two now as well, because I get into bed and then I read or something like that, which is normally what I do anyway. But the fact is that I get engrossed in the story that I'm reading, and then like I close the book and my mind is still thinking about the story. And so I go to bed and I'm like, and then like because your mind is still active, like as soon as my head hits that pillow, it's like, no, we're still doing that. We're still working out the thing. Mate. Yeah. And it's something that I've got to really kind of
I think in that sense, figure out. Sit downstairs and read. And then go up and do your bedtime, really brush your teeth, have a wash, whatever. Yeah, it's sort of like a routine thing, isn't it? I don't know. That's weird.
It is. So, are we looking forward to Christmas this year rather than last year?
Yeah, I think. I definitely. It'd be nice to see more people. I like Christmas generally, anyway. Like, I did. Like last year, I know we both sort of. We're not supposed to go and see people, but like Christmas Eve, we did the presents drops. We sort of spoke to people at the door. On
doorsteps with the door open, so air was circulating.
Yeah, so we still saw family. Not on Christmas Day, though.
No.
But we still had a nice Christmas. Like, went to Liz's mum's for dinner and stuff like that. So sorry? She came here. I lied.
There you go.
It was good, though, still. It's doing well. But yeah, it was still like I suppose we're lucky in that sense that we had Liz's mum in our COVID bubble at the time, so we still had a bit of normalcy where we still saw family, whether they came here or we went there. That's still up for debate, but we still saw somebody outside of our household, which is quite nice. But yeah, this year is going to be completely different. Liz's mum had her operation yesterday.
I saw that.
It was supposed to be Thursday, but she ended up. Sorry, is it Sunday today? It's Sunday. I'm fucked, mate. I don't know. She was supposed to have it Friday, but there was some issues at the hospital, so she ended up having it yesterday. Seems to be recovering quite well, actually. Oh, she's up and moving about, sort of breaking the new knee in, I suppose.
Interesting choice of words.
So, yeah, hopefully that she'll be recovered enough to enjoy Christmas as much as possible. I think she will anyway. And she needs to cook the turkey, yeah. So,
and it will be just, it will be back to the like who's going where and what's happening. And
no, they're all coming here.
Oh, excellent, good.
Yeah, which is brilliant. Like I'm liking that. I'll be in my own space. I'll be comfortable.
Yeah,
I don't have to drive home, so I can have a few drinks.
So much easier.
I guess.
I think I might have to try and implement that.
I'm just trying to think now because Liz's mum's gonna be here. My dad can take her home. Brilliant. Excellent. Are we gonna have to drive her home? Is Liz gonna drive her home?
The first he's hearing of it now if he listens to this episode.
Yeah. And he will be listening to this episode.
That
was Liz that volunteered. And he can hear volunteered him. And he can hear that. So
but did you hear how quickly he agreed?
I'm not arguing with my wife. You know me better than that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, because I imagine like with Liz sort of doing most of the prep for Christmas dinner. She's going to be drinking plenty of Bucks Fizz, I should think.
Too right, it's Christmas.
Oh, Bucks Fizz is great, isn't it? We've already got a couple of bottles ready.
Yeah.
We've got 4 bottles. Brilliant. Yes, right, anyway.
But so Merry Christmas to everyone, I guess.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I hope everyone has a better year this year, Christmas this year than they did last year. And
I mean, I think they are. It doesn't look like they're changing their plans, the government. No. So we're going to be able to enjoy Christmas.
It will happen in the new year instead. You wait.
For sure. Yeah. They've already said that there are already rumours about 2-week lockdown after Christmas.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And as we know, rumours generally turn out to be the truth.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I hope everyone really enjoys themselves over the festive period. Get in touch. I'll be, we'll be around on social media, kind of ish, as much as we ever are.
Yeah. That occasional day where we go, oh fuck, we haven't checked.
Yeah.
But yeah, just enjoy the holidays, everyone. Stay safe still. But yeah, be merry. Drink.
Enjoy. And until 2022, there's going to be one more episode that I'll put out between now and then, but not with us on it. So until 2022.
Yeah. Just Happy New Year as well, guys.
Yeah. I have been Tom.
I've been Ant.
Bye.
We have recorded one for this episode. We Spiderways. I'm guessing that's what you were going for.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Fair enough. It's good.
All right, cool. Sorry? Oh, we're being laughed at.
Oh, yeah, no, Liz was wetting herself laughing.
It's like, hi, Eric. She has no idea.
Context.
Yeah.
Hi, Eric.
Oh, you do know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Brilliant.
Right. I've got to shoot. So, thank you very much for doing the edit. And
not a problem.
Normal service will be resumed, but I'll put the Shang-Chi one out over Christmas.
Yes.
I'll just record an intro for it, and that'll be that.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go and get laughed at some more now. Bye, Eric.
Anyway.
All right.